Good afternoon, Jared. Thank you for getting involved in Business Owner Spotlight again. Returning guest. Would you, just for everybody who didn't see your last interview, go ahead, introduce yourself, and tell us a bit about what you do.
Yeah, of course. No, Scott, well, first of all, thanks for having me. Really always exciting jumping on a call with you guys and kind of sharing my journey and kind of what I've been up to in a sense. So yeah, I'm Jared Wilson and I'm the founder of Cricket Jobs, which is a job board and a recruitment company within cricket, which is quite a niche market. But yeah, I come from South Africa and I moved to Northern Ireland 6 years ago and I moved over for cricket. So I was at the time I was looking for a job within cricket and couldn't find any jobs within the industry. And a centralized platform, I had to browse through hundreds and hundreds of different websites, and I just thought, like, I was just so lazy at the time, and I was just like, I'll just put it into one place to help everybody else. So yeah, I kind of did that about 18 months ago. And it's been an absolute roller coaster, but a great one. And yeah, keen to chat about it today.
Awesome, and I'm excited to hear more. But just before we dive into that, tell us a bit more about, who would be your ideal customer? Who would you most like to work with or to hear this interview?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I was kind of a customer um, to the product a few years ago. So basically, it's what I'm trying to give is an opportunity for if you've got a passion for cricket and whatever skill you may have within corporate, within the world of cricket, you can apply that to jobs. And I don't think people understand what sort of jobs are out there within the cricket industry. It could be an accountant for the best cricket team in the world. And in my opinion, that's a pretty good job if you're an accountant and a job that you wake up every day and you want to improve the financial status of a cricket side. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of the market that I'm looking to attract. Is just people who have a passion for cricket. You might not even play cricket, but I mean, cricket's the second biggest sport in the world with over 2 billion followers or fans, should we say? And if you've got a passion for cricket, you might have a skill on the field, off the field. I just want to connect the two dots, really.
So that makes a lot more sense, and it's not that niche now that when you say it's
Yeah,
it's jobs within cricket, but it's really more if you've got a passion for cricket, then you can get involved in the sport, with by one degree of removed, not actually playing the game,
yeah.
but being the accountant for the team.
Definitely. So, like, we've got coaching roles where potentially you are an international cricketer and you want to kind of fall into the world of coaching, then there's opportunities for you in that regard. And you might not have the greatest cricket skill, which is also okay, but you might have a background in marketing or sponsorships and you love cricket, you watch it on the weekends, etc. And there's a job that you might be able to spend the rest of your life enjoying because yeah, my motto as well is like if you do something you love, you'll never have to work in a day in your life. So that's kind of where I'm
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That's really cool. And you've just, you've solved a problem for yourself by doing it with something you love. So yeah, you're living true to your motto. So you were on our podcast last year, and obviously it was very early days for you. Still is only 18 months in, but you've had a pretty big growth spurt since then. So tell us a bit about what it's been like since you were last on.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think it's a case of grinding it out. I'm a very keen follower of successful people, and there's this influencer that I follow, and he says that most startups fail because they just aren't patient enough to wait. Uh,
Mm.
and I literally gave it 12 months of hard work and grit and not seeing a massive return. And I was just, again, I was doing something I loved and I was just like enjoying the process. And then next thing, not that it's where I wanted to be in the future, but we've done better than where we were at the start, and that's kind of a massive success factor for us. So I think it's a case of we just grinded it out every day. We did 2 hours, 3 hours every day while I was still working a full-time job. Have two little kids running around going absolutely mental, and just worked at it every day, and eventually it paid off. Again, I say it's not exactly where I want it to be, wherever the future may hold, but I'm working full time in it. I was fortunate enough to quit my job, and now I'm in a field of work where I'm passionate about, and I can wake up every day going, "Let's go smash it." You know what I mean?
Awesome. And like relatively speaking, that's you've gone from nothing to now. a business that you own that will support you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a case of being able to wait it out. And there's going to be days where you see no results, and there's going to be weeks where you see no results. But just like if you trust your gut, just keep in there and just keep working at it, because there's loads of quotes that I also read. Like, it could take 10 years of nothing to become an overnight success. And I really do believe that. And even for myself, like, I haven't achieved success in any way. I'm still growing as a person and a businessman, but I know that I've if I just keep at it, then I'm just so excited to see what the future holds. And yeah, very motivated to just continue working. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's that the things that you're telling yourself are keeping your belief, which then keeps you, as you say,
Yeah.
grinding it out. Well, and what about practical things then? If we move away from sort of mindset, is there one thing you've done in the last 18 months that if you were doing it again, you're like, I would definitely do that first, and I would do it bigger?
In terms of cricket jobs or in anything?
Both. If there's two different things, but I'm thinking cricket jobs first. From
Yeah.
starting to where you are now, is there something you would have done more quickly, or something you would have done bigger?
Yeah, so I think it's a case of saying yes more. I think
Okay.
if you've heard of Will Ahmed, the founder and CEO of Whoop, he
Yeah.
says say yes more, like get out of your comfort zone, go meet new people, go do new things, and some things might not benefit from, but it could lead to something else.
Sure.
And networking. So I would say networking's been a massive part of my personal development as well. Like, yeah, no doubt it's scary going to a networking event when there's people you don't have a clue or know about, but they're in the same boat. They want to network, they want to meet new people, and they want to be successful. So I would say the two practical things that I've kind of learned is just say yes to more things, and you might not learn in that one area that you've said yes
Yeah.
to, but it could lead to something else. And then networking. I think the power of networking is insane, and the amount of relationships that I've built that have led to something that's meant a great deal to cricket jobs has been really good. So those are kind of my two practical things that I've
Because
learned.
people do want to help other people, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. Like we in this program that I'm a part of, we've actually come to agree that there's actually good people out there. Not everyone is
Yeah.
bad and scary. Like everyone just wants to do good and help each other. And yeah, I mean, if you can return the favor in some way or another, then that's fair enough. And just everyone needs to help each other out and not ask for anything in return. But one day you might need it, and if it's there and you can help, then yeah, go do it. That's
Yeah.
kind of the way that I see things.
And what other ways have you got out of your comfort zone? 'Cause that seems to be have been a big thing for you, just getting out of your comfort zone. How else have you done that?
So the biggest thing was as much as there was enough resources to pay for my salary, because I
Yeah.
take a salary now, it is scary, like going out into the world not knowing that there's stability and you never know what the future may hold. That's probably the biggest
Well,
thing.
welcome to business.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to business and taking a massive risk. But at the end of the day, I've learned, and if you want to be successful, you got to take those risks. And that's probably been the biggest one, that just getting out of my comfort zone, I'd say.
Which is awesome. Well, so tell us about the next 5 years then. What's the next 5 years look like for you guys, and what do you think are the main challenges moving forward?
So for those who understand cricket, I think India is massive. Okay. You've got 2 billion people who watch cricket, and I would say 50 to 70%, I don't know the exact numbers, come from India. Okay.
Okay.
And that's just the nature of the sport. So cricket jobs is mainly focused within Europe and Australia. And South Africa as well. That's kind of our three target markets. And I think we look at Mount Everest being India, and it's
Okay.
a case of how do we get in there? What partnerships do we build? And then kind of come up with a strategy to launch in India. So yeah, that's kind of something that we're planning at the moment. And yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. It's just kind of become sustainable within the areas that we're working in. And then it's a case of, right, we've built enough resources here to hike the mountain of Mount Everest, which we're kind of keen to do in the next maybe 18 to 24 months.
Very cool. Very cool. Sounds exciting. And again, not that niche when you've got like 2 billion people who might be able to get involved.
Yeah,
um,
100%.
And that sounds amazing. And the other thing as well is, again, it's that networking you were saying. It's building a relationship, so it's who not how, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've come to also realize that now that I've done some networking, some incredibly talented cricketers that I used to look up to, as soon as they quit cricket, it's almost a case of, right, what do I do now?
Mhm.
I've played cricket my whole life and I want to continue working within cricket. Let's go look for a job in cricket. Where do I find that? Cricket jobs. And who
Yeah,
runs cricket jobs? Jared Wilson. So it's a case of I used to watch cricket. I used to watch when I was a youngster, I used to follow a lot of people, and I've had some interesting phone calls where I've not known who was at the end of the number. And then it's like, is this for real? Like, am I actually helping you out? Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, it's been a pretty cool journey. I'm very
So,
excited.
man, just even talking to you and listening to you, you can hear the passion that you have for it, and it's not just about finding jobs, helping people out, and being involved in that sport that you love so much. I mean, it just you can just tell you're into it.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I say passion's a massive factor, and I always believe you should do something you love. And cricket's kind of been that for me. But I think a big driving factor is also from a personal note, like I was blessed with two young kids, and the motivation
Yeah,
that they give you to kind of succeed in life, that goes a long way as well. So there's always something for the people that I think have made it. There's always been that one thing. It could be passion, it could be a personal note, and it just keeps them driving every day. And in my regard, there's two things. I got two kids, and I've got a massive passion for sport. So, yeah, maybe that's a bit of extra hunger for success, but I'll take it every day.
yeah, 100%. And what if somebody was going to start a business now? What's the one piece of advice you would give them?
Um, don't be afraid to start. That's probably, I think the fear of failure is massive. That's probably don't want to boost myself up a bit, but that's kind of a personal trait that I had was just like I wasn't scared to do it and just get it out there. So yeah, fear of failure is obviously one thing that I would say, like, just get it out there. You would rather do something and it fail and not have regret than not do
Yeah,
something and regret it in the future. Because I would love to know, out of all the businesses in the world, how many people had that idea before them or successful businesses. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which would be an interesting stat. So that's one thing I would say, just like go out and do it. If it fails, then maybe it wasn't meant to be, but don't have any regrets, that's for sure.
Yeah, good bit of advice. And just to finish up, I always like to ask this question. So, if you could go back in time and speak to an 18-year-old Jared, then what piece of advice would you give him?
Um, I think as you go on a journey, it depends on how you do it, but I think don't let people's opinions get the best of you. I
Okay.
think I have to realize as well that when you grow something, there might be a few opinions, and just be happy for yourself and what kind of the journey that you're going on. And always trust your gut. I think that's kind of, if you are absolutely certain that you want to do this, then do it. You've got no one to prove this to besides yourself. So that kind of opinion thing is a massive thing for me, is that I've got no one to prove what I achieved to anyone besides myself. So that's kind of a massive one that keeps me motivated.
Awesome. Listen, Jared, really enjoyed you coming on, sharing your success with us. It's really inspiring actually to hear how well you're doing, and can't wait to share it with everybody else. So, thanks again for getting involved.
Yeah, no, 100%, Scott. Well, yeah, it was a pleasure jumping on the show, and hopefully the listeners can learn a thing or two. And yeah, it's been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.